Maya had seen worlds burn. She had felt the chill of vacuum space and the thunder of alien weapons tearing through human fleets. She had lost friends, ships, and a part of herself in the war that spanned galaxies. But now she was back on Earth. At least she thought she was back to something simple, normal. High school was supposed to be normal. Or so she hoped. As she stepped off the shuttle from her distant military training station, the sunlight of a small town in America hit her face. She squinted and looked around. Everything seemed ordinary. The school buses, the chatter of students, the smell of fresh grass, but Maya knew better. She had survived horrors beyond imagination, and nothing on Earth was ordinary in her eyes. She carried her bag lightly, though inside were hidden items no teenager should have: a small multi-tool, a compact communicator, and a datapad with encrypted maps of the galaxy. She tucked them carefully into her backpack, knowing she could never let anyone see them. These were reminders of her life as a soldier and pilot, a life that seemed impossible to explain to anyone who had never left Earth. Her first day at Ridgewood High School started with whispers. Students stared as she walked down the hall. Maya's posture, her confident steps, and the calm, piercing look in her eyes made people pause. She didn't notice them at first. She was scanning the environment, studying exits, and memorizing every detail. Years of surviving ambushes in alien territories had made her hyper-aware. Every hallway, every classroom, every corner could hide danger. At lunch, she sat alone at a table in the corner. Her food was simple, but her mind was busy. She observed students laughing, sharing stories, and sometimes pushing boundaries. It was strange. She was used to life-or-death situations, not cafeteria politics. A group of students came near, whispering and looking at her. Maya caught snippets of their conversation. "Who is she?" one asked. "Look at her. She walks like she owns the place," another said. "Yeah, but she's weird. She doesn't talk much." Maya didn't respond. She knew drawing attention could be dangerous in subtle ways. Not all threats came from aliens. Sometimes curiosity could be just as dangerous. As the days went by, Maya tried to blend in. Classes were boring at first. Math, history, and literature felt like padding between her real life and this strange new world. But she noticed small things that didn't make sense. Small shadows flickered near the school during breaks. Electronic devices occasionally glitched when she walked by. One afternoon, she caught a glimpse of a tiny hovering drone near the gym, too advanced for anything she had ever seen on Earth. She didn't panic. Maya had survived ambushes in asteroid fields and laser storms in deep space. She simply noted the occurrences, knowing that something was watching. Earth was safe for now, but she couldn't be careless. Then came the first real test. During gym class, a volleyball match turned chaotic. The ball hit the ceiling, and the lights flickered strangely. Maya's instincts screamed at her before her mind processed what was happening. A small drone, almost invisible, zipped down the hall, scanning the students. Without thinking, she leaped, snatched it midair, and crushed it in her hand. The class froze. Students stared in shock. "How did you—" Someone started to ask, but Maya just shook her head. "Dropped it," she said simply. No one believed her. The teacher looked flustered, unsure whether to reprimand her or praise her. That night, Maya went to her small apartment near the school. She checked her equipment, scanned the area, and reviewed the small pieces of alien tech she had managed to bring back. Something was here. Someone or something was tracking her. Ridgewood High, these students, her classmates, none of them knew the danger creeping closer. But she did. The next day, things got stranger. She walked to school and noticed a faint shimmer near the front entrance. A small group of alien probes disguised as ordinary objects were monitoring the students. Maya recognized them immediately. Reconnaissance units from the enemy fleet she had fought. Her stomach tightened. She realized that the war she had survived was not over. Not really. Earth was now the battleground, and these students were completely unaware. During chemistry class, she tried to focus on her experiment, but her mind kept running simulations. How could she protect everyone without revealing who she truly was? If she acted too obviously, she would attract attention. If she did nothing, the innocent could be hurt. It was a new kind of mission, one she had never trained for, protecting a small town, a school, and teenagers who didn't even know the meaning of war. By midweek, Maya decided to take matters into her own hands. She started moving strategically, positioning herself near vulnerable spots: the gym, the cafeteria, the main hallway. She learned the names and habits of her classmates, not for friendship but for strategy. Knowing who was likely to be in which area at what time would help her anticipate danger. She didn't socialize much, but she smiled when needed, blending in just enough to avoid suspicion. Then came the day it all escalated. A quiet Tuesday afternoon, Maya was walking to the library when she noticed a strange hum. The air felt heavier. She saw a tiny metallic craft hover outside the window of the cafeteria. It wasn't large, but it had energy weapons visible under the hull. Panic began to spread among the younger students, but Maya stayed calm. She signaled a few older students subtly, guiding them toward safer areas. She then leaped into action, moving faster than anyone could follow. She grabbed a nearby metal pole, disarmed the alien device with careful precision, and hurled it out the window. The drone exploded harmlessly on the pavement outside, and students cheered, thinking it was some prank or clever stunt. Maya's heart raced, but she didn't allow herself to show it. She had survived worse. Yet she realized something new. High school was unpredictable in a different way. There were rules here, social and practical, that were foreign to her. She couldn't just rely on reflexes. She had to understand human behavior, emotions, and trust. The war had trained her to act, but not always to communicate or lead in subtle ways. By the end of the day, Maya was exhausted. Her dorm room was small, and she collapsed on the bed, staring at the ceiling. Her mind replayed the events of the day. She had saved students, but at a cost. She had revealed just enough of herself that questions would follow. How long before someone noticed her abilities weren't ordinary? How long before the enemy sent something bigger? As she drifted to sleep, Maya promised herself she would find a way to keep everyone safe. She had survived the war, yes, but survival alone wasn't enough anymore. Earth was a new battlefield, one with civilians, teenagers, and ordinary life mixed with extraordinary danger. She had to learn how to fight without weapons, to lead without authority, and to protect without revealing the truth. The night was quiet, but Maya knew better. Shadows moved outside. Hidden eyes watched, and the first signs of a larger plan were already unfolding. She had survived the stars, and she would survive high school too. But it would not be easy. Tomorrow would bring tests of a different kind. Tests of courage, intelligence, and leadership, and Maya was ready. The next morning, Ridgewood High was buzzing with the usual chaos. Lockers slamming, students laughing, and teachers trying to keep order. Maya walked through the halls, calm but alert. The events of the previous day weighed heavily on her. The alien reconnaissance units were gone for now, but she knew they would return, and probably stronger. She noticed her classmates staring. Some whispered, some stared openly, and a few tried to approach her. Maya smiled faintly, knowing it was important to appear normal. If she acted too different, curiosity could lead to trouble. During her first class, Maya observed her environment carefully. The teacher spoke about chemistry formulas, but her mind was elsewhere, scanning patterns of movement outside the window and noting potential weak points in the school's structure. The cafeteria, the gym, even the library. She needed to know every escape route, every hiding spot. By lunchtime, Maya had decided to prepare. She discreetly taught herself how to create makeshift alarms using ordinary classroom items. Pens, rulers, paper clips, and even smartphones could form a simple alert system. She didn't tell anyone what she was doing. But she subtly placed items in key locations, ensuring she could detect unusual activity quickly. As she was arranging her small network, a group of students approached. One of them, a boy named Tyler, had a bold curiosity. "Hey, Maya," he said. "You're kind of different. You move fast and you're always watching. What's your secret?" Maya paused, weighing her words. She couldn't tell the truth, not yet. "I've always liked paying attention," she said simply. "Helps me stay organized." Tyler nodded, unsatisfied but not pushing further. The afternoon passed quietly, but Maya sensed tension in the air. Then during art class, she noticed something strange outside the window. A larger craft hovered near the school's sports field. This one was bigger than the previous drone. It had weapons, sensors, and energy shields. Maya's instincts screamed danger. She acted quickly. Using her knowledge of alien technology, she created a small electromagnetic pulse from ordinary classroom equipment. She had practiced these techniques during simulations and emergency drills in space. The pulse disrupted the craft's sensors temporarily, giving her a few crucial moments. Students outside noticed nothing unusual, just that the afternoon sun glinted strangely off the metal object before it disappeared. Only Maya knew how close they had come to danger. After class, Maya gathered a small group of trustworthy students: Tyler, a quiet girl named Emma, and a strong, athletic boy called Jordan. She explained, carefully and without revealing everything, that something dangerous had been near the school and that they needed to be aware and prepared. "Are you saying aliens?" Emma whispered, eyes wide. Maya shook her head slightly. "Not exactly. But something is watching, and it's smart. We need to think ahead, work together, and stay alert." The group trained quietly. Maya taught them how to recognize suspicious objects, how to communicate signals without speaking, and how to move quickly in an emergency. She emphasized teamwork, using lessons from her war experience. The students learned quickly. Human ingenuity and curiosity, she realized, could be as powerful as advanced technology. That night, Maya went home, exhausted but determined. She reviewed her plans and prepared backup strategies. Earth might not have starships or laser battles like the front lines she had survived, but it had something equally important: ordinary people capable of extraordinary action when guided properly. The next day, the threat returned. This time, the alien presence was clearer. A small squad of drones moved toward the school's sports field during gym class. Maya signaled her group subtly. Tyler and Jordan created distractions, drawing attention to one side of the field, while Emma and Maya positioned themselves to intercept the drones. The battle was quick but tense. Maya's training and her group's quick learning allowed them to disable the drones without anyone else noticing. One drone crashed into a pile of gym mats, another short-circuited against a metal fence. The students around them thought it was a strange accident, a fluke of bad timing, but Maya knew better. Afterward, the group gathered in the library. Maya looked at their determined faces and felt a sense of pride. These were ordinary students, but they were learning to act with courage and intelligence. She realized something. Surviving the war had taught her skills, but teaching and inspiring others gave them even more power. "Why are they here?" Tyler asked. "Why our school?" Maya considered. "I think they're testing us, observing, learning. Humans are clever. They adapt, fight, and survive in ways they don't expect. That makes us dangerous to them." Jordan frowned. "So what do we do?" Maya smiled faintly. "We learn. We prepare. And when the time comes, we act together. Earth doesn't need soldiers like I was. It needs humans who can think, plan, and protect." The days that followed were a mix of ordinary high school life and extraordinary preparation. Maya continued her classes, did homework, and navigated social interactions. But every moment was also a training opportunity. Students learned not only defense tactics, but also the importance of observation, strategy, and courage. One afternoon, the principal called Maya into the office. She expected questions about her recent actions, but instead he simply smiled. "Maya," he said, "I don't know what you've been doing, but you've made a difference. Keep it up." Maya nodded, understanding that recognition was not important. What mattered was the safety and growth of those around her. Then the final challenge of Part 2 arrived. A larger alien probe, this time almost the size of a car, hovered above the school. Its sensors scanned aggressively, searching for anomalies. Maya realized it could not be ignored. This was the true test. She had to protect the school, her friends, and the town using strategy, courage, and the lessons she had taught her classmates. The group sprang into action. Maya coordinated movements using signals and strategies that relied on each student's strengths. Tyler used speed and agility to distract the drone. Jordan's strength allowed him to manipulate the environment. Emma's intelligence helped disable electronic components. And Maya directed the operation, combining all their efforts. It worked. The drone was incapacitated without causing harm to anyone. Students nearby were unaware of the danger, thinking it had been a strange mechanical failure. Maya looked at her team, proud and relieved. Ordinary humans had worked together to solve an extraordinary problem. That night, Maya sat alone, reflecting. She had survived the war, yes, but she had learned that heroism was not just about strength or weapons. It was about teaching, guiding, and inspiring others. Humans were resilient, clever, and capable of amazing things when united. High school would never be simple, and Earth would never be completely safe. But Maya understood something profound. Survival was more than living through battles. Survival meant preparing others, building trust, and acting with intelligence and courage. She smiled softly. High school was strange, messy, and full of surprises, but it was also a battlefield she could win, not with firepower, but with heart, mind, and the remarkable ingenuity of humans. The night was quiet, but Maya knew the challenges were far from over. She had allies now, ordinary humans who could become extraordinary, and together, they would face whatever came next. And for the first time in years, Maya felt hope, not just for herself, but for the future of Earth, and for the human spirit that had always, somehow, survived against impossible odds.